So we kind of mentioned it off podcast last time, just, things to talk about. And it's a sports topic we're kind of going to get into.
Shocker.
Yes, one of our random tangent kind of topics. Or I guess slash questions of the hour. Because we've definitely had this conversation before on our hockey podcast, Wimmer Quake podcast. Um,
Mm.
but it's been a hot minute, and I kind of wish Brian was on here because I generally don't know what his actual answer
I
would be
actually
to
don't know.
this or his feelings on this. But it's talking about tanking in sports. So basically, I just kind of want to get Jeff's kind of, or, remind me of Jeff's thoughts on, tanking in sports. What is pro, against, his overall thoughts on tanking as a whole. Because especially in the city, sports market we root for, two of
Yeah.
the teams currently are kind of in that realm of being, trying to get better lottery odds. I was the NBA season just ended, so last week of the NHL season. Um,
He's
and
technically still
but they're
going on.
both, yeah. That's by the end of the week, it's going to be over. But you know, um, but now it'll be playoff times. But since both teams, NBA, the Sixers and Flyers are both, bad, but it's too different. Where it seems like the Sixers are more tanking, the Flyers are just, bad. Feels like a good time to kind of talk about kind of the topic of tanking because it's been a kind of a hot topic, I guess, in Philadelphia, or
Yeah,
two over
so
the four main
yeah.
teams.
Well, so it's kind of funny because I and maybe this is just me, but there are certain sports you can absolutely tank and others you can't. Like for basketball,
Basketball is
theoretically.
I think basketball is the biggest example of tanking, just
Oh,
because it's,
1,000%. Like literally, look at literally the process that the Sixers had. That was literally all tanking, and like looking back in 2020 hindsight, really the only pick that truly worked out was Embiid, and even that's
he's
kind of
hurt all the time.
yeah gone down the gutter now, and they're kind of going back to tanking again. So,
Yeah.
um, baseball like what
I don't
does
think you
help though?
can. I don't think you really
You
can in
you can't
baseball
really tank in
because
baseball because
because I was trying.
there's so many games. There's 162 games, and like you and people will probably argue like, oh, you could just swing at every pitch and like clearly miss. It's like okay, at least look like you're attempting to like to like make a play and this and that. It's not like you can pretend to be like a beer league team or a little league team.
Yeah, I just don't think you can in baseball just because everything around baseball in general, the way the leagues run, the way the draft is, prospects coming
Yeah,
up, you just can't tank because what are you tanking for? The draft
yeah,
happens, it's the one draft that happens in the middle of the season.
yeah. And which I honestly,
And
call me crazy, I kind of like that. I think it's a lot of fun.
and it makes sense because I think they're doing around the time like college baseball and like high school, those leagues are just ending at that point, right around the time the
Yeah,
draft kind of
exactly.
gets.
Because the college baseball World Series usually ends in mid, if not late June.
Yeah, which is around the time when the draft
Yeah,
is.
draft is yeah,
But that's
which
such
is
a
pretty
rarity in
nuts to
baseball
think about.
because
Yeah,
you're going from then single A to then double A or maybe low single A, then high single A, double A, triple A, and
Triple
then
A.
majors. And it
Yeah,
depends on what's position because, one person like NBA and NFL, one person kind of changed the directory of your team. Just look at Jaden Daniels for the
Washington.
Commanders and
Hmm.
CJ
Yep.
Stroud for the Texans.
Yeah.
But you can't do that in baseball because there's so many different positions.
Yeah,
Like
I think
one
like the
person,
only one
because the pitcher's only going to go once every 4 or 5 games.
exactly. So it's like as much as like it's nice to have like a generational talent and everything like that in a pitcher. Like, okay, cool. He only like I said pitches 1 out of 5 days.
The other sports you can't because when you go into those drafts, you go NFL, NHL, and NBA. You always know, oh, this guy can potentially be the number one overall pick. You may get a generational talent like Wembanyama for the NBA, the Connor McDavid, uh, 10 years
Yep.
ago. Hard to believe.
Oh my God.
It's
That oh no, he, that was 10 years ago.
yeah,
Oh my, I'm hating life. Whitmer, we're getting so freaking old. That was 10 years ago.
Yes.
Oh my, I hate life. Why did you
But
have to ruin my Monday?
sorry. Sorry
It's
about that.
bad enough it's Monday,
Also, the
but
other
then you
thing
had to
with,
go and give me that.
but as we mentioned with the trusted process years and everything, just because you're getting the first overall pick or the potential of first overall pick doesn't mean that player is going to automatically pan out.
Yeah, big time.
For me, in terms of tanking, it's weird, kind of like I can see for the league's perspective where they obviously hate it because they
Yo,
have that fear of you're cheating the game, you're making the league less look bad and everything because you're not purposely, but you're kind of purposely trying to lose. It's making you have less fans go to your games and everything. And when you're a fan in it, and especially for Sixers, because Sixers tickets got so cheap that nobody was going. Because why would you want to watch a dumpster fire?
yeah,
And when you're
literally
trying
tickets
to
for like
lose,
seven
yeah,
bucks.
yeah. It's like, why would
Yeah,
you? So, but like again, there's a difference between tanking and just being a bad team. The Flyers, for example, are just not a great team. That's why they're where they're at.
yeah. But of course, now they're winning games at the worst possible time and
Well, yeah,
hurting their
because
draft order.
yeah,
So
because it's it can't be
yeah. Now I will say this though.
because
So
it's just weird to
as
have to root for your team as a sports fan to want to lose.
yeah, well, so it's such a bizarre
That's why I
because like
couldn't. That's why
yeah.
for the Rangers and Islanders in particular, the recent games we played, I was like, ugh, I don't want to
Oh no
lose.
no
It's like
no
I
no
don't want to
no
lose.
I know no I'm right there with it because there's certain teams where it's like I don't want to give them a better draft position, but at the same time I want to give us a better draft position. So it's like it's tough. It's so I will say I don't even know like it's because I never really thought about it until like you brought this up the other week and then again now. So I don't love the idea of tanking because you can't naturally tell some. I have a similar feeling that Brian might somewhat agree to this, where you can't just convince a whole team like guys, our objective, it doesn't matter what any of you guys are playing for. Our objective is get the top pick or as high of a draft pick as we possibly can so we can improve our team, get younger, this and that, and get a better player, then become a better team next year, this and that. Like you have guys playing for contracts, you guys trying to win now, you
Yeah,
guys trying to chase a cup or a rank of any sport. So by the end of the day, it's like I get what a lot of people say, like, oh, like people take all the time, this and that. I was like, they do, but they don't because some teams are just genuinely that freaking bad. It's amazing.
for the Sixers in particular, and I could think just kind of defend you a little bit is the reason why they're tanking, but I think there's some like they've been investigated multiple times this season for tanking. The thing that they could kind of defend themselves on is well, we've been hurt all year. Our star player's been hurt all season pretty much. Tyrese Maxey's been hurt for a good part of the season, then got shut down. Paul George, same thing. Jerry McCain, who they drafted, same thing, was out for
Yeah, well,
majority
Paul George
because
is ancient, and I could tell anyone from the very get go that that contract was
yeah, yeah,
horrendous.
yeah,
But
yeah,
here,
yeah, it was terrible. But either way, they can at
yeah,
least say, well, we've been hurt, so you've been playing a little bunch of like G League and like depth guys to try to fill the void. And while they're still probably trying their best, they're still losing.